everyone, and welcome to the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world show made for the fans by a fan. I am your host, as always, Richard Tiemann. This is the award-winning Fan Show. Thank you. That's right. Everyone's a fan of something, and we have got something for every fan. It is Thursday. It is our preview day here on the Fan Show as we get ready to take a look ahead at this weekend's action. There's a lot of it, actually, because there's a few things happening this weekend that we did not have happening previously during the week, and that should make things very, very interesting around here. I'm excited for it personally. Now, of course, right now is March Madness, started today officially, and today is the first year in a long time. Let's just say that. This year is the first time in a long time that I did not fill out a bracket, and the last few. I've done bracket challenges, invited Fan Nation to partake and participate in it, and I don't know. Normally, I do it very last minute, but it's not something that I invest a lot of my time and energy into doing. It's just kind of like I look at the sheet and I'm just like, yeah, Maryland's pretty good. Duke's pretty good. I know that name. North Carolina, I know that name too. Gonzaga probably won't make it very far, and then I just fill out accordingly, right? I mean, you kind of look at the list and then you go. I still fill it out, and I didn't this year, and it's crazy. It's like I feel like something's missing. I don't feel like I'm missing anything. I feel like something is missing, and that is checking my bracket through the ESPN app. But it is what it is. I'm not gonna lose sleep over it because, in all honesty, you guys are probably watching the game right now instead of tuning into this live if it happens to overlap with one of the games going on. What's up, Mr. Brian Hicks? There's Adam. Adam messaged me as I'm like pulling into my driveway because I was running late myself, and he's like, "Don't start the show without me." And I'm like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I had to get beer." And I'm like, "Okay." So Adam's here. Brian's here. Hey, Brian. But yes, guys, I'm sorry that there is no Fan Nation bracket challenge this year, and my apologies on that. But you guys can keep me up to date. Ping me when your bracket gets busted. It's always a fun day, isn't it? We always have some upsets and some big-time surprises, but we'll keep on schedule. Today's day is for predictions, a look ahead at everything that we've got going on, so it should still be a good time. Got a great guest for you. We spoke last night about this weekend. Big weekend for them, looking ahead at the lineup of games this weekend. We're actually going to go over that, too. We're going to talk about which games are must-wins for teams, both the AAF as well as the IFL. And then the American West Football Conference starts this weekend. It's basically the Northwestern Indoor Football League is what I would have called it. I believe, because I'm trying to find their schedule, but there's 4 teams, Reno, Wenatchee Valley, Boise, and Tri-Cities. It's Idaho Horsemen, the Reno Express, the Tri-Cities Fire, and the Wenatchee Valley Skyhawks. And that league kicks off its inaugural season this weekend. So I'll check here. I'm looking at their Facebook page, and I don't see like a schedule. Maybe it's under events. I don't know. But if that gives you any inclination as to how well it's run, I'll go and check out Tri-Cities. They're only a 2-hour drive from here. I'll go and check it out. But before we get too far into that, let's go ahead. Let's get through headlines. Let's check those out. And the headlines, of course, brought to you by Dynamite Enterprises, where they want to customize your world. They can make you anything from stickers, koozies, coasters, hats, t-shirts, beanies, polos, probably beanie babies if you wanted them, and trophies, awards and plaques and so many other things that they can do for you there at Dynamite Enterprises. You just got to tell them what you want. Send them your artwork. Ethan will get you a quote, so you can email him directly, ethan@dynamiteenterprises.com, or you can visit their website, which is dynamiteenterprises.com. See what they've got, see what you'd like to have. And, of course, even if it's not right the first time, he will make it right. He will make sure, because he prides himself on the quality of product, and him and I have been back and forth on that a few times, and I trust him. We've built a relationship on trust, and I trust him to take care of me and the needs for the F.A.N show. And I think we're a better looking show for it. You listen to me, but trust me, when I'm out there on the road and I do the tour or I do the events, I want it to look the best that it can, and he has definitely helped out with that. So thank you, Ethan. Go and give him a shout if you guys need anything for marketing, for promotions, or any sort of business-related stuff like that. It's the best to be. Let's check in on the chat also while we're here. Adam, there he is. I see. Looks like Brian joined. We might have a few others. Go ahead and jump in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. It's the last one before a weekend. He said, Adam says it's fine. He actually didn't do any brackets this year either. But see, I don't have to watch basketball in order to do the bracket. Like I said, it's, I will go off of the names that I'm familiar with that are good in basketball. But sometimes my college sports, they trick me. Like if I see Alabama in a bracket for basketball, I'm like, Bama's in this. Yeah, they're going all the way. And then basketball, that's not how that works. It's not how it works for like Clemson. Michigan, sure. Purdue is kind of 50-50. But the names that you're looking for at the collegiate level every single year for basketball are Duke, North Carolina, Syracuse, I imagine, and what's another one? What's the fourth one? Let me know your thoughts. Who's the big names every year without a doubt in the March Madness tournament that you could always bet on if you're filling out a bracket as a first timer? If a friend is a newbie to it, right? What are the four names that you could give them to say they'll probably go far without fail? Let's see here. Biggest story he saw in college basketball was Zion's shoe exploding. Okay. Let's see here. Travis is in here. It says, we all know the Volunteers are finally going to shock the world. It's very true. So, the brackets, they're fun. That's why we do them, right? They're fun. Hey, what's up, Ken Walton? He's in here. I forget who his team is because I watch the Facebook interaction with him and the rest of the guys in Carolina, and it's priceless. Baylor, there's another one. Yes, Travis said Baylor is another big name in the collegiate basketball world. So we have Syracuse, North Carolina, Duke, Baylor, and there's another one. Is Xavier? That it's one with a different name, but I forget if Xavier's in it every year. I know that they've been in it recently. Yes, Kentucky. Ken Walton with the W right there. Kentucky is in it a lot. Basketball, not football. So, like I said, being the football fan that I am, even though I don't follow college football that closely, when I fill out my bracket, my mind will play tricks on me. And I'll be like, yeah, let's see. Okay, we got... we got where's Clemson? Where are they? Are they not? Where's Bama? Where are my big names? It doesn't work that way. It's fun though. It's all in good fun. Adam, I'm not gonna you're not gonna trap me on that. Adam says Gonzaga, and here's the thing: when you live in the Pacific Northwest, and Gonzaga is literally all that you have outside the Seahawks, but since Gonzaga is in Spokane, the very city that you live, because you're not in Seattle where the Seahawks, the Mariners, and whatever else are, then this is that time of year, and for the last however many months it is for college basketball, that people start to go crazy for Gonzaga. But it's like, they must be best friends with Bengals fans by now, because every year they go to the playoffs. And they don't make it very far. They've made it to the championship one time. And it seemed like there was a rule that the higher seeded Gonzaga was, the quicker they were out of the tournament. Because they were seeded number 1 with Adam Morrison, out by round 2. Seeded number 1 with Kelly Olynyk, out by round 2. It was only that big deep run to the championship that they did where they lost to who? North Carolina, that they were ranked, I think, number 1 or number 2, and they actually went beyond the second round. But man, you could set your watch to it. And I just don't get it. I really don't. It's like all this buildup for an offseason of heartache because they're a big fish in a small pond, in my mind. Gonzaga is, until proven otherwise. So we'll see. It'll be fun. You guys let me know how your brackets are doing. But in the NFL world of things, we did have some free agency moves today. I thought it was worth noting that Justin Houston is signing with the Colts. RG3 has re-signed with the Redskin or the Ravens, which I thought was odd. And then let's see, it is Adrian Peterson's birthday today. So if you guys are an AP fan, go and wish him a happy birthday. But yeah, Justin Houston joining the Colts. I think that'll be good for their defense. I think that'll really help fix some holes that they had there. And let's see, Jared Cook signed with the Saints, so they get some help on offense at the tight end position. But still, everybody's talking about Clay Matthews to the Rams. And, of course, Packers fans, you either love him or you hate him. So, with that, other news, of course, we talked to Omar Cook yesterday. He is signed with the San Diego Strike Force. He will get his first action this weekend when they host the Green Bay Blizzard. And we'll go over those games here in just a second. My 400 episode is coming up. Yep, that's right. The Fan Show turns 400. 400 episodes we've done here on a 3-day-a-week basis, if we can. So it started out weekly. I would record 3 hours to edit, or I would record 2 hours, edit for 3 to try to get it down to 1 hour. That's a lot of time consumed. So then I just started doing it live, and it's like whatever happens here happens. And then I just put it out there for the rest of the world to enjoy. So I'd like ideas for the 400 episode. How to start out, because I don't want to do just regular headlines. I'm thinking maybe an AMA for the first portion of the show. And then, of course, any guest requests that you guys might have, not limited to anything. I'm going to say that if you guys want an IFL player, NAL player, coach, if you guys want somebody from NFL Network, other places, somebody from BattleBots, I can always reach out. It'll be next week. It should be a week from now. Thursday will be the 400th episode, pending any illnesses or if I come down with the sickness again. And then let's see here. So, yeah, the American West Football League Conference, the American West Football Conference, should be the Tri-Cities Fire at the Reno Express, and then the Idaho Horsemen at the Wenatchee Valley Skyhawks. So that league starts. I will be in Tri-Cities for their home opener next weekend as part of the Fan Show Tour. Friends with their quarterback, Travis Martin. He got the spot, so that's good. And let's see here. For the AAF, though, we've got a big week coming up. A couple of must-wins. In wrestling news, it is WrestleMania season. Kofi Mania, will he finally get his spot in the main title event? I don't know, but I feel like Kofi's storyline is Daniel Bryan's from back when they were doing the push to WrestleMania 30, which I thought was interesting. But there's some differences, but there's a lot of similarities too. So week 7, sorry. Week 7 for the Alliance has the Apollos and the Legends. I'm going to go ahead and say the Apollos on this. I feel like last week was that week that I had an iffy feeling and it came to fruition. Adam jinxed them, so blame him. The Legends need the win. I don't know if they're mathematically eliminated from their postseason contention yet in the AAF, but this is week 7 of a 10-week season. They really need this win, but I think Apollos will probably get it. Then you have Salt Lake at 2-4 against the Commanders 4-2. Salt Lake obviously needs this win more. I think the Commanders will probably get the W at home. And then Sunday we have the Fleet and the Hot Shots. Both are 3-3. So this is a pretty big one, considering that the Iron being 4-2, and then of course the Apollos being 5-1. This is for kind of second or third best in the league, assuming that there's an upset with the Apollos or the Iron. So I'm going to say that I think the Fleet will get this one on the road. I do. And then the Iron and the Express. The Express, I don't even think this win would do them any good. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Birmingham. And as far as the they don't have like a standings thing here on their app. Anyway, so that's your Saturday and Sunday lineups. And let's see. Travis said that it's terrible news, Clay Matthews to Los Angeles, but he is going back home technically because he's from Southern California, and that's what a lot of people were saying was the good news about it. Adam says he takes full responsibility for jinxing the Apollos, and that's good. It's good that the first step is admittance. Am I right? So yeah, IFL week number 5. Arizona really ran away with the awards from this last week. Best offensive and defensive line. And trust me, I tried to find other winners of the award, and I simply could not. They had probably the best week of football that you can have as a team. And that's Arizona. So that led me to think, who really needs a win this weekend? It's only week 5, but every win counts, right? So if we look through this, we will start tomorrow night, Friday night, Quad City. They will go on the road to Sioux Falls. Sioux Falls' first home game of the season, their big home opener. Kickoff is 8:05 Eastern, 5:05 Pacific, 7:05 Central Time for you Midwesterners there. And this, I think, will be the game of the week. The matchup that will be the most entertaining will be Quad City's offense versus Sioux Falls defense. But the matchup to watch, the one that will dictate who wins and who loses this game, will be the Sioux Falls offense versus the Quad City defense. Because I don't know how good Quad City's defense is. I know that their offense is very, very good, and Sioux Falls defense is very, very good. And Sioux Falls offense is good, but how good is Quad City's defense? So that's the matchup to watch. But I think the most entertaining matchup will be when the Quad City offense steps out there on the field with the Sioux Falls defense. And then Saturday, we have Iowa taking on Nebraska. And I don't think really Sioux Falls or Quad City need a win more so than the other on this one. I think Quad City would like it to help sort of solidify themselves as a contender in this new league. They're not a new team, but it's a new league for them. So that would be good if they got it. Sioux Falls, I think, wants it just because they narrowly escaped Cedar Rapids and they thumped Bismarck in Nebraska, but overall their 3 opponents have a combined records, wins and losses of 2-8. This would give them a lot more clout as far as them being the same old Sioux Falls that we've seen. Iowa and Nebraska, this is an interesting matchup. I think it comes down to Iowa's offense and Nebraska's defense, because we all know Iowa has a very stout defense. Very good defense. Their secondary, probably one of the best in the leagues. And Nebraska has a potent offense. If Tarmy Armstrong is locked in, he can be lethal. So that'll be the matchup to watch that'll dictate who wins and who loses. That is Saturday. Kickoff is 8:05 Eastern, 5:05 Pacific, 7:05 Central Time. And then finally, Sunday, to wrap up Week 5 in the IFL, the Green Bay Blizzard travel from the tundra to the beach, take on the San Diego Strike Force. It'll be a much-needed away game, like a mini vacation for the Blizzard. Hopefully they can come out with a W to make the vacation all that much sweeter. But I think this will be a good game. Omar Cook being added to the San Diego secondary, even on short notice, I think definitely helps them out. He knows Green Bay well as an opponent. The matchup to watch in this one will probably be the Green Bay defense, or the Green Bay offense and the San Diego defense. And that also is at 8:05 Eastern, 5:05 Pacific, 7:05 Central Time. And let's go ahead and check the comments real quick here before we move along to our special interview of the evening, and that is with Lorenzo Brown from the Sioux Falls Storm. Let's see. Suggestions for 400th suggestions for the 400th episode are special guest host Fozzie. I don't know if he's up for it. Fozzie, you up for hosting? Fozzie, where'd you go? Hi, Spock. Fozzie, where are you? See, he's not even around. I don't know where he is. I never know what he's doing back there. So we could have Fozzie host. I'd be okay. Well, Adam, don't. Oh, dude, you don't want to go on record with that. You know these guys. You don't want to jinx one from your own league, man. He's trying to say I'm gonna go guaranteed win. Green Bay beating San Diego. Ugh. If San Diego ends up beating Green Bay, I'm gonna send everybody your way, man. Because that's why I don't do predictions for the league. I get enough heat for doing power rankings and top tens and players of the week. And it's like I get people that pop up in the messages and comments that say, well, we don't care about rankings. But you do. Because if you didn't, you wouldn't say anything. So you do a little bit. And you do until or you don't until you do. Meaning that as long as you're in a good place on the rankings, you don't care. But once you're in a bad place on the rankings, deep down you care. Okay? Don't try to... You can't say you don't care because you care by going out of your way to say you don't care. If you follow me on that. People are funny. People make me laugh. All right, Fan Nation. So let's go ahead and click on that link, that Spreaker.com/user/The Fan Show. And don't forget, if you missed any of this episode, the first part, the opening segment here, they are all live on Facebook, facebook.com/fanshow official. You can go and watch back, see the comments. Feel free to interact. I know it'll be obviously later than what we were doing live, but you can go back in and see what people were saying and comment and be a part of the conversation. But if you want to be a part of the conversation right now, you have to hop over to Spreaker.com/user/The Fan Show, and you can hear the entirety of the interview with myself and Lorenzo Brown, quarterback of the Sioux Falls Storm, talking about their home opener and home sweet home and how they only have one home game in the first 2 months of play. It's like they have 7 games and 6 of them are on the road, and that is crazy. So they will be tested in a very, very tough way this first portion of the season. And if you can't listen live, then subscribe. iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio. And don't forget to go buy a t-shirt. I'd like to sell 10 more t-shirts this weekend, all right? So if you need a shirt, hit me up. Facebook.com/FanShowOfficial, Twitter @FanShowOfficial, and then, of course, Instagram is The Fan Show. And those are the different avenues on social media that you can contact me. If you'd like to send me an email, something more personal, Richard@thefanshow.com. Very simple. We keep it simple around here in Fan Nation. So without further ado or any more delay, my conversation with Lorenzo Brown, quarterback of the Sioux Falls Storm. Enjoy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, joining me now, making a highly anticipated return to the show, is a man who hit a career milestone with 100 touchdowns. He's the leader and quarterback of the Sioux Falls Storm, Lorenzo Brown. Welcome back, man. How you doing?
Thank you, man. I'm doing good. How about yourself, man?
Doing great. I'm excited the season is underway, but it seems like every team has a bye week every other week, but we do get like a full slate of games. We do get a full one at the end of the month, thank God. But that's another week away. But you guys at least finally get to go home. You get to have your home opener this Friday and host a team like the Quad City Steamwheelers, which I think will be your guys' probably toughest test yet. How's the season been looking in your eyes, though?
It's a work in progress. We're definitely not playing our best football, but it's, a lot of new faces. So, it's expected. I think we're moving in the right direction, though, and that's all you can ask for, really.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there. And I said, actually, on the last show that there's something about you guys and just Curtis Riggs. For some reason, people will make the nearest knee-jerk reaction to say that you guys are out or your glory days are behind you or whatever. But yet, Curtis Riggs is... he really is the Bill Belichick of the IFL, and the only one up there really with him is Kevin Guy. So it's a very elite group, very good company, but you know him probably better than anybody. What is it about Curtis Riggs that makes you guys and the fans there in Sioux Falls just sit back, relax, and let him work?
Well, I wouldn't say the fans up here sit back and relax. That's for one. They're probably the first to, oh no, we are not blowing teams out by 80, or whatever the case is. But I think when it comes to Coach Riggs, I mean, it's just he's seen it all, he's been through it all, and I mean, experience is key when it comes to doing something for so long. I mean, and being successful at it. And there's really not a situation that he hasn't been in, that he's been there before, that knows how to get through it, or what's expected to get us to get to a certain level of play to make a championship run. So, I mean, we got the best coaching staff in the league, and I think the best coach of all time on our side. So, but yeah, it speaks for itself when you talk about Coach Riggs, honestly.
You guys have an excellent coaching staff, and it's funny. I talked to Dixie Wooten before the season started. I mentioned his coaching tree because, of course, they have Coach Coleman now taking over for the expansion Tucson Sugar Skulls, and he comes from Dixie's coaching tree. But Riggs, what's funny, you make the Bill Belichick comparison, and there's a lot of coaches in the NFL that have come from and produced great coaching trees. But Bill Belichick, it's like his coordinators can go all over the place, but they may not do very well outside of that New England bubble. So Riggs, though, has been able to hang on to guys for a long period of time. You're right, one of the best coaching staffs. What would you say, though? Like, is it a cultural thing? Is it a Riggs thing? Or would they flourish outside of Sioux Falls if you had to pick a few guys to go and get head coaching gigs?
I honestly think that Coach Hermanson would be a great head coach, and Coach Andre Fields. Just the way those two, they present themselves, and just like that aura that they bring and energy that they bring to meetings, to practice, to the sideline interaction in the games. I mean, it's contagious, honestly. I think any of those two, would be a great head coach, but I think it's, they like being a part of this family that we have here in Sioux Falls. And beyond other things, I mean, they got jobs. I know Coach Herman's just retired, so I mean, going somewhere else probably isn't in his cards. I know Dre has, his job that he does, but I mean, if opportunity knocked, if they want to take that leap, I really think that they'll be fine at doing it, and being successful at a high level too.
The culture of Sioux Falls has really fascinated me since covering this sport, because it seems like if you become a member of the Sioux Falls Storm family, it's almost like you're Sioux Falls for life. Ty Knight, a legend, one of your obvious Hall of Famers, Ring of Honor, whatever you want to call it, he stuck around. I mean, he opened his football camp and everything there. He loves Sioux Falls. And he always is going to support you guys. He's going to love you guys to death. You talked about Coach Herman, how he's retired and probably sticking around for a while. Is that something that was intended, or is that something that just happened, that the guys, that once they're there, it's like they stay?
I think it just happens. I mean, this town isn't so small, but big. It's just a perfect town. I mean, 150,000 people or whatever the case is, but I think it's, just a town, what it brings. The Storm is well known. I mean, you use the Storm as a platform, to better yourself. And those guys, T-Knight has used it. I mean, he's trying to get his little camp going on for the kids and just give back to the youth. And I know he's, trying to, be a personal trainer too now, that he's, using his Storm background to boost that. And rightfully so. I mean, you put in the years, the blood, sweat, the tears, and the sacrifice, and you're stepping the right way. And it's only going to open up more doors of opportunity down the line for you in life. And that's what we preach here. So Sioux Falls definitely embraces the guys that come in, and it becomes home for some of us. And that's what it comes with,
Yeah, absolutely. And of course he was there for you guys playing Bismarck, which Mike Tatum, a former Storm member himself, he took it to the house against you guys, which I'm sure was one of those bittersweet moments for him. But that's a beautiful thing about football, and especially what you guys have created up there in Sioux Falls, is that you can, enact that kind of emotion from people. And, it's great to see him do well, and the band doesn't stay together forever, and you guys
Hmm.
have taken a lot of hits in Sioux Falls as far as personnel goes out on the field. What's the key, if you had to pinpoint something that makes it so that you guys don't really feel the effects of losing guys one season to the next, that you can sort of pick up where you left off and just with some fine tuning be right back in that playoff picture?
I mean, it all comes down to the coaching, honestly. You gotta have the good coaching, but to find the right players that buy into the system and to what the coaches are preaching. We go through it every year. I mean, veterans leave or new guys come in. If they don't buy in, they find the door quick, and it's a lesson for guys that are there or on the bubble. Like, oh crap, he got kicked out, so let me tighten up and let me buy into this, because I mean, the Storm franchise, it speaks for itself. So obviously, what we do here, if you don't buy in, somebody else will, and the show's gonna go on. But yeah, I mean, it comes down to coaching, find the right guy, buy into the system, and just plugging away at the season to try to get your groove and find it and click at the right time to make that push for make the final push.
All right. Well, you mentioned buying in, and I believe
Mm-hmm.
it, but I got to ask them the obvious question: is Sioux Falls, is the culture, is it is it that hard to sell?
No, I mean, it's not. Well, it's rough in the first couple months, though,
I
especially
imagine
guys
so.
from the
Yeah.
south, especially guys from the south that don't know what snow is or all that stuff. But I mean, you know what you come here for. You
Yeah.
come here to play football. Some of the guys that come in, a year or two out of college, looking for that film to get to the next level. If it's AFL or if it's CFL or NFL, it's all about getting tape, and this is a great spot to do that. And if you want to make a career out of this, if this is where you're going to make a career out of, it's a great place to be also. Because the CFL, NFL is not for everybody. Like I said, Sioux Falls is hard to sell for the first 3 months of the year, but 3-4 months a year. But once you get past that, I mean, this town is very, very to live in, and it's been my home since college, and I don't see myself going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, I think it's great for you guys there, the fans, the community alike. Now, for you, though, this year, you've already, we're about 5 weeks in, and you've already hit a career milestone with 100 career touchdowns. And then, of course, the last couple of seasons, you guys have done that deep playoff run and gone to the championship, but the result probably not what you guys had hoped for or expected. So for you, you've been here before, but what is there anything that is different or that needs to be different as far as your mindset or anything else going into another season, especially with you went from 6 teams to 10 teams now in the league?
I wouldn't say no. I would say no. I think both years, more so last year, could have went either way in the championship game.
True.
You had two great teams coming down to the wire. Honestly, who was going to have the ball last was going to win the game. And, Iowa had the ball, with, just enough time to march down and kill the clock and score. And it came down to, a F.A.N grab or a punch ball out the end to end the game, and it could we still had a chance to win the game. And that's all you can hope for, is to have a chance to be there, to compete. And that's what we're doing, and that's what we're going to keep on doing. That's my job, to make sure that my guys are on task to keep on, plugging away for the grind of the season and get my guys there at the end. We'll be there. It's gonna be ugly at some points. I know that. But at the end of the day, you got to take the highs and lows throughout the season, and you got to make sure you're at that high towards the end, and that's where we'll be at, I'm sure.
Well, you certainly are the right guy for the job as far as the quarterback and the leadership. I mentioned on the last show that you guys really thumped Bismarck The two of their three scores coming from special teams, one being
Yeah.
a big Mike Tatum play. But obviously your defense and your special teams worked wonders, but you are having a career season. Now you face the Quad City Steamwheelers, which we know they're not an expansion team, that we acquired them from another league, and they were a pretty big deal over in that other league, and they have a winning record right now, and they're going to come into your guys' house for your home opener. In your mind, what does Sioux Falls need to do, the most important thing, to make sure that you guys come away with a win against a tough opponent like Quad City?
We just gotta, jump on them early. That's all. If we jump on them early. If we play our game, come out early, and get our crowd going, I think we'll be all right. But I'm looking forward to facing a new team. Like you said, 6 teams was kind of rough last year. But the more teams, the better. Just overall competition and just the sport of the game. But I'm excited. I'm excited to get home. I mentioned earlier today to somebody that our first 7 games, 6 of them are on the road.
Jeez.
So, we got a little teaser for our crowd, our home crowd for this Friday, that we're not back until end of April. But it's going to be good, just stay off the road this week and get in the Denny and have fun. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Yeah, man, that's what it's all about, is having fun. Yeah. And I picked your guys' game Friday to be the game of the week, in all honesty. I think you guys both have some high-powered offenses. I think that the real matchup is going to be probably your guys' offense against their defense. As far as the difference maker, the matchup I'm excited for is their offense against your guys' defense, because I think both of you guys are probably top of the league for your respected sides of the ball. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm very excited for it. We're in the thick of it, and we'll finally have a full slate of games the week after, where all 10 of you guys will finally see action for a change, and that'll be a much-needed change of pace. But, hey, man, appreciate your time as always. Always fun to talk to you, and I'll try to make it to Sioux Falls this season because, miss seeing you guys at the Denny.
Oh, yeah. Well, I appreciate it, man. I'm always grateful and welcome the conversation with you, man.
Absolutely. I'm sure we'll talk more this season. Until then, though, he is Lorenzo Brown, quarterback, and having a career year for the Sioux Falls Storm. You take care of yourself, my friend.
I try to, man. Thank you again. Have a good one.
You too.
All right.
And thanks again to Lorenzo Brown for taking the time. It's always a pleasure to talk to the quarterbacks, especially one. He's been on the show every year since we started covering indoor football, and it's always been a real honor and a privilege to basically have him come back and just have that rapport built, and we can talk and catch up from last time. It's not like you're starting over fresh, and I don't feel like I get automated responses from him. So he's one of the real ones. And there's a lot of guys out there that are real ones, too. And I appreciate that. And I know that it's not always easy to do interviews. And for some people, the concept of the fan show, very foreign to them. But for the most part, 99 times out of every 100, they're pretty chill. They're fun to talk to. And they enjoy the time on the show. And I'm happy to provide them with that opportunity to let us pick their brain, get to know them a little bit, kind of relax, because I've seen coaches' shows and I've seen the weekly stuff, and I know that the guys in Sioux Falls and Iowa and Green Bay, they do it and they try to keep them loose and keep it fun and lighthearted. But I also try to do it in a way that not only is it fun and lighthearted, but it's not one of those. So what's your favorite pizza, Lorenzo? Tell me about tell me about a time that you got in trouble. It's like I just try to get to know them in a way that I would try to get to know my friends, and I think that's the key. That's the key to the fan show. So 400 episodes next week. Wow. 300th episode last year was a whole lot of fun. We brought back some of my favorite guests of all time. Mike Herrera from MXPX was a guest. Aaron Coscarelli from NFL Network and Mark Istook, and it was a great time. It really was. And 400, is a milestone, and I will treat it as such, but I'm not going to try to like outdo it. I think 500, that'll be one, because 500 will happen in the 5th year of the Fan Show, and it'll be great. I think if we plan it right, it will be a hell of a good time. So don't forget, follow us on social media. Twitter and Facebook are both at Fan Show Official. Go and like the page, give it its content or the page itself a share. Always stuff being updated there constantly. And then, of course, Twitter. That's another place that you can keep up with everything happening on the Fan Show. Instagram is a good visual place to go, and that is the Fan Show. And you can check us out on Snapchat, but we're not really on there a whole lot. And that is, again, the Fan Show. We have a YouTube channel. We'd love more subscribers. I don't have, I don't know, it's not YouTube/The Fan Show, but there are enough links to the YouTube posted on Twitter, on Facebook, and Instagram that it should be fairly easy to find. I'll do another post for that, but if you're a YouTuber, please subscribe. We'd love to get more subscribers. Shout out to Chiseled Adonis, who got a YouTube award for 100,000 subscribers. Good job, man. He is so funny. We had him on the show last year, and he was a riot. He's a comedian that is a sports enthusiast, specifically football, and he does his own highlight commentary. And I use it as inspiration for doing my own top 10, but there's a lot of stuff that, like, I try to keep mine PG-13. His is like NC-17. It's hilarious, though. I love it. But good for him. Good for him. Well done, Chiseled Adonis. And that is going to do it for this edition of The Fan Show. It is the last one of The Fan Show Work Week, and we will be back next week with all new guests and all new content. And so make sure that you're keeping up with us on the social media. Please feel free to join the conversation however you can, even if it's a tweet from like a week ago. You can go back and reply now and share your thoughts on something. We can spark up that conversation again. So it's not official unless it's Fan Show official. And remember, folks, best of luck to you and yours. Go Niners, and of course, it's all fun and games until you butt fumble. Good night.
Do you remember the time that Mark Sanchez ran into his own player's butt? That was funny sports.
Thank you for having me on the show, man. I love the Fan Show.